a couple of weeks ago. And I think the question was, Charles, if you had to choose 2 or 3 AI tools, what would they be? If you was to say, do this or use this, what would be the tools that you would use? And the reason why I think that's an important question is because I don't know about you, but my budget is not unlimited. And there are hundreds, literally hundreds of AI tools, many of which are being created every day, every week, not to mention the ones that's been out there for the length of time since we've been discussing AI tools and so on. So I think that's a great question. And I'm going to break it down into 2 categories. What's I think is great free tools for those of you who don't have a budget. And I'm going to break it down to what I think are some great pay tools if you do have a budget. Now, also, some of the free tools that I'm going to give you guys are going to be tools that will even outpace some of the paid ones because of the features and unique attributes that these tools have inside of them. First, I want to go over, like we normally do, is there any outstanding real estate investing or AI questions that you guys have that you would like me to cover during the first 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes? Is there anything out there that you guys want me to touch on as our quick hit session?
I got a question about doing sub twos on the VA loan.
Go right ahead.
So I have someone who might be interested in selling his property via subject to, but he doesn't want to lose his VA entitlement. That's what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just talked to a couple of people in the sub two community, and they said that he wouldn't lose his entitlement, basically, depending on how much the government gave him.
Yes.
Okay. So
that is true. He wouldn't lose his entitlement. However, if he has an existing mortgage that is VA, he won't be able to get a new property as long as that mortgage is active.
Yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, because that's what I heard. I heard that they were. Yeah, that's what. It depends on what servicing company you use.
No.
The Romanian entitlement.
Hold on, one at a time. George, you first.
So what it is that he would lose that portion. Let's just say he qualifies for $500,000 in VA and take over $200,000 subject to.
Right.
Now he will only have $300 worth of benefit until that loan is paid off. He can't utilize his full VA, so he does lose a portion of it. At least that's the way it was explained to me. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what the because me and the agent had to go.
That is correct. That is correct. It's based on the actual usage of the volume of the actual allowance.
And it came up with an assumable. So if somebody assumed an assumable, that was the scenario. So it wasn't subject to. So if he let somebody assume 200,000 of his 500,000, then he would still only have 300 left. So it wasn't explained as a subject to, but as an assumable to me.
Okay, somebody else wanted to chime in. Who else?
I would say something, Charles, and George pretty much explained it. Is what his what is that called? D2214, whatever his award was, he can use up to that maximum. So if he's already, because I have a client who had 2 properties, which I was surprised when she was able to get a $300,000 property and then turn around and bought a $500,000 property. And I tried to do it. Well, I learned that I couldn't do it because, I didn't make that kind of money. But yeah, they've used that much. They can't use the entire balance again until they paid off the other part. The other one has been serviced.
Does that answer your question, Brian? Brian, can you hear me? I'll take that as a yes.
Oh no, I was over here talking the whole time. I didn't even realize I was on mute. Can you guys
Does
hear
that
me?
answer? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does answer my question.
Now,
and
here's my question to you: how do they plan on doing the sub two? Because there's a number of ways in which you can do it. In
shoot.
other words, where I'm going with this is, are they going to do a wraparound, or are they going to do an actual traditional subject to where there's an actual recordation of a deed?
I believe it's a traditional sub two with the actual recordation of the deed, because we still have to do closing costs, and they still said something
Yeah,
about a
yeah,
servicing company. So
yeah. If you're doing closing costs on that, it's gonna be a traditional one.
okay, so that's what they're saying. But yeah, that answered my question. Thanks everybody.
Any other questions? Real
Charles,
estate,
is
go right ahead.
is prop stream, I think I asked you this before. So is prop stream still like the top software or resource to get investment properties, like absent owners and vacant properties
Okay,
leads?
I love that question because that's a question I get a lot. Well, I think I say a lot. I had that question asked of me probably 3 times in the last couple of months. And for us and my people and what we're doing, I refuse to change it because of the activation we're getting with the deals and stuff from it. I don't know of anything out there that we've tested that is producing or would have produced anything close to the amount of volume we're getting with PropStream. Now, with that being said, our highest converting list is our direct from courthouse list. And what I mean by that, Denise, is I'm talking about pre-foreclosure. I'm talking about tenant holdover. I'm talking about probate. I'm talking about um, uh, uh, rental, tired landlord with an actual eviction filing. I'm talking about bankruptcy, the stuff that we get live from orphans court, the stuff that we get live from the courthouse. That's producing a higher clip than the stuff that we're getting from any what I would call online list source.
Mm, okay,
So
thank you.
if you used to ask me what's the highest converting list source out there, it's not PropStream, it's not Z List, it's not Batch List, it's not um, Flip whatever or Flop whatever. It's the list that you pull from courthouse or the list that you get from judicial records. That list will outperform all those other lists. And here's the reason why. Because of the fact of the real timeness of the list. Probate list, I get the day that it's listed. Pre-foreclosure list, I get the day that it's actual pre-foreclosure. Tenant holdover, all these other lists, I'm getting immediately. I don't know of any list source online that is updating their actual motivated list on a daily basis, like you get from the live courthouse sources. Now, the exception, of course, would be something like expired listings from the MLS, something like that. And those are great lists that we're dealing with when it comes to creative deal structures. Those are our best lists with creative deal structures is expired listings. And of course, the other stuff that I mentioned, code enforcement violation and so on.
Okay.
How do you get those court lists?
Well, depending on the jurisdiction, and sorry guys, like I said, I'm in a place where depending on the jurisdiction where you're at, the courthouse and or daily record for Maryland, for Baltimore City, Baltimore County, the Annapolis Gazette for Annapolis, other newspapers will have that in there. So it all depends on the jurisdiction where you're at, Larry, in regards to how do you get them. There are a few sources that gets them online. The Daily Record has an actual online version of their delivered newspaper list. But there's another source, I think it's foreclosure.com or preforeclosure.com, something like that. I'm just not too sure on how active that list is updated.
So on the ones that you get, can you go online and get them individually and other people can do the same, or you have to go to the
Well,
courthouse and get them?
there's a few that we do get online from, for example, the Daily Record. We get divorce filings, we get the actual tenant holdover, we get the actual right of redemption for tax sales, we get foreclosures that we can get on. I mean, at auctions that we can get online. When it comes to probate, you can get a redacted version of that online, but the full list you have to get from the courthouse. When it comes to pre-foreclosure, the full list we get from the courthouse. When it gets,
So it's, if it's a, for example, pre-foreclosure, they might say, you know, on Friday afternoon, we publish this list and it'll be available to anyone who wants to come to the courthouse and get it?
yes, absolutely. And you have to know which jurisdiction does it that way and so on.
Good things to know.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Go right ahead.
So let's say if we decide to explore calling the listing options, calling those listings options. I
Okay.
definitely know that they work. I have a particular client who, this is my second year I'm working with him, and he gets this list from the courthouse before the
Yes.
people go in foreclosure, and then they buy the house, and I will list the house for them. And
Yep.
I didn't fully ask him how he got the list, but that's the one thing, that's the only thing that he does. So if you would say from all those lists out there that we can go and buy to call, and we would do one at a time until we get comfortable with one, what is your suggestion? Get comfortable with one and then try to buy another type, or how should we go about it?
That's a great question. That's a great question, Janelle. I think for us, and what I teach my students is that you need to have multiple motivations. So, for example, we do pre-foreclosure, we do code enforcement violation, we do absentee owner, we do driving for dollars. The answer to that is definitely you want to have multiple actual lists, because the message, depending on the outreach, meaning if you're going to do a phone call, the message that you're going to use on that phone call pretty much is going to be the same. So there's no reason to only do pre-foreclosure or only do code enforcement violation. Because when we do a basic message campaign by way of a cold call, we'll reach out to that homeowner and say, Mr. Jackson, I noticed you have a property at 109 North Main Street. We're looking to buy another 3 properties in your neighborhood. We're just reaching out to see if you're interested in selling your property today. That's the actual genesis or the actual soul of the message that we're asking that homeowner. So it doesn't matter if that homeowner is in pre-foreclosure. It doesn't matter if they're code enforcement violation. It doesn't matter any of the motivated situations, because that message is the message that we're reaching out and doing it to. So the answer to your question is no, you should not master one list first and then do another one and do another one. You should have multiple lists that you're marketing to I prefer no less than 4 lists at a time that you should be marketing to, because that's a way that you're going to ensure that you get volume when it comes to lead source, and not by only doing one type of list and then hoping and praying that that one like type of list will produce.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. I will figure out, like, because for us we would do.
All trades.
Yeah, Nick is saying we check on all trades. So for us, I will check here how we get the list from this side of Maryland and Virginia. But in Baltimore, is only one courthouse that we can go to get the list?
Well, that's not true, because remember, in Baltimore City and Baltimore County, we have a newspaper. A lot of the lists that I mentioned are in this one newspaper. It's called the Daily Record. There's also an online version of it. So if you're talking about code enforcement, you're talking about, for example, auctions. You're talking about failure to pay rent notices. You're talking about tenant holdover. You're talking about what else? Pre-foreclosures. All of these are in that actual newspaper or online version of that newspaper. So you don't have to go to the courthouse to get them. You could. A couple of those, like the pre-foreclosure and the actual probate, those would have to go to the courthouse to get. But by getting that newspaper, you will have, and when I keep saying the word newspaper, I prefer the online version of it. By getting or buying or subscribing to the online version of it, you have 4 to 5 different list sources right there. And then when you incorporate something else, another strategy with that, you're going to have your 5, 6, 7 different list sources.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna look into it this week. It's gonna be new for us, but I wanna try it.
Yeah, I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to help you with that in regards to those list sources. That won't be a problem at all. The key, though, is going to be the approach you make when you start doing those either calls, emails, text messages, direct mail, and so on, because you're going to have to do multiple touches. I don't recommend just calling. You're going to have to touch in multiple ways.
Okay, and then there, like, how many? Well, I guess we can talk when it is 101 or something, but what is like what would be like a game plan? Like one person, how many touches we should have? I think we lost Cheryl.
I think he froze.
Hi guys, this is Jonna. This is my husband Nick.
I'm naked.
Hello.
We are new to the platform.
Yeah, Charles is down in Miami Beach and working off of hotel Wi-Fi, so I'm sure he'll rejoin when he figures out that that he's no longer with us.
So Sonia, you are in Bethesda? Is that what you said?
Yes, I am. I am in Bethesda.
And
So where in DC you are?
Are you an active realtor?
No, I'm not. I'm just doing investment in real estate.
Wait a minute.
Sorry?
Wait a minute. Not just an investor, a proud investor.
He's a very good investor.
Exactly.
He's a very good investor.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I just want to apologize. I'm on the actual hotel's internet, and I'm not sure how stable this is. So we're going to continue to truck on down here, but like I said, I'm not at my normal location, and I'm not so sure how this internet is. The last question I heard, let's make sure that we still have. Yeah, it's still recording. Yeah, it's still recording. The last question I heard from you, Janania, was that something about multiple, I think it
Yeah,
was multiple.
yeah, like you said about the touches. So is there like a system that you would recommend for us to follow? So let's say we call the person once, if they don't answer, how
Yes.
many times more?
Yeah,
What touch?
we're going to cover all of that. We're going to
Okay,
cover the tools and systems you're going to use, the whole 9 yards. Absolutely.
thank you.
As a matter of fact, make sure you schedule your actual onboarding with me so we can start the process.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hey, so I do have a question, but I think we should leave it for a different day. It's in terms of like the entity structure, Charles. Like, how do you have your LLC set up? Like, so right now, as you know, I'm working on that.
Yes.
So I'm doing my state planning. I'm trying to. So I did the holding company is in Wyoming. I'm currently working on the Maryland. So I'm
Ed, let me be honest with you, man. I understand what you're saying right now. I'll be truthful with you. Until you start doing deals, that would be probably be the back behind of what I'm going to do. I'm not going to worry about that until I get a deal or two underneath my belt. Because that's what you're in this business for. You're in this business to close deals. That's what it is. So what I would tell you to do right now, your foundation has to be in place right now to start marketing, to start communicating, and to start closing deals. Everything else is a distraction away from that right now. I don't think I would tell any student to worry about whether they should have a Delaware corporation or a Wyoming or a Nevada corporation or an LLC, and they haven't done one deal. That's the waste of brain power right now. So my first question to you is, what are you doing right now to generate deals?
like I said, I'm not doing anything related to that.
Okay, then put that crap to the side. And have you done the actual basis for your foundation of the actual 8 videos yet?
Yes.
Okay, hit me up tomorrow so we can go over that. Because you're supposed to contact the people, give me 20 people that signed it, or 15 to 20 people. So let's go over that tomorrow.
I haven't done that part. So like I said, I'm focused on other areas, but that's fine. So going back to my original question to you. So if you
Mhm.
can maybe for another day, so like maybe how you can show us how your structure.
Yes, no problem. And it's a multi-member LLC, Wyoming based. But yes, we'll talk about that. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to really make this perfectly clear. And this is the one thing I want people to understand. You're in this business to generate revenue to close deals. That's the first thing that should be down your pipeline. Nothing else. If you're not doing an activity that is allowing you to do that, you're wasting time. The reason why students are successful, investors are successful, people are successful, companies are successful, because the first thing that they've mastered was how to close deals. And I would argue, if your business model is wholesaling, the thing that you need to worry about is, how am I going to get tax deductions from all this actual income that I'm going to be taxed at? Because you're going to be taxed a large amount. because all you're doing is bringing in revenue without any type of deductive model to work off of. So don't waste time. To me, being a time vampire is one of the reasons why most people study real estate and don't do deals, because they waste it doing stuff that has no need in trying to understand or trying to do right now, and they have never done a single deal. I'm not going to have you waste your time on stuff that's not going to produce leads, stuff that's not going to produce deals, stuff that's not going to generate you incomes. And if that's what you want to do, working with me is not going to be the right path for you. Because I pride myself on my students being successful, the people that I work with being successful, not wasting time. Any other questions? Anything about AI? Okay.
I had a question.
A question.
Yep.
In doing um, a thing to send to the investors that you had us do a couple weeks ago, can we put a voice message with that as well?
Are you referring to the Google AI Studio or Notebook LM?
I was just talking about the credibility package
Oh.
that we did. I'm
The
sorry.
key, the key to the credibility package is what is going to be your method of deliverability.
Yeah.
If your method of deliverability is going to be email, then yes, you can add a audio message to an email. So it's all about your deliverability mechanism that you're going to be using. What we do for the most part, we give a physical copy, and we only give an email copy when that person is not.
Close again.
And we do not give an audio by way of email, or maybe even by way of an audio attachment to a text message.
You do not.
We do not send out an audio
Okay.
message in the credibility kit. We do not.
Okay.
Okay. What are the resources and the tools that I like for investors, for entrepreneurs, based on free and based on paid? If you used to ask me, Charles, what is the best tool like ChatGPT that is free to use? I'm going to tell you the hottest tool that's out there right now, and that's DeepSeek. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Let me know if you see my screen.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, this is DeepSeek. This is what it looks like. The website is deepseek.com. It's 100% free right now. How long is it going to stay free? I don't know. It's a product of a Chinese company that created this LLM that is driving everybody in the United States and other LLM companies such as Grok, such as ChatGPT, such as Google crazy, because they've been able to create a high performing large language model like ChatGPT, and they've been able to create it by giving it away, where ChatGPT is charging $20 a month, charging $200 a month. And yes, they do have a free plan, but the free plan has limitations. And what I'm talking about is ChatGPT. With DeepSeek, there is no limitations on how much usage you can use it. Now, why is this causing people to go crazy and billion-dollar, trillion-dollar companies losing 500 billion in the stock market cap of their actual business? Well, they, meaning DeepSeek, has been able to accomplish what ChatGPT has done for $500 million of creation on a budget of $6 million. To put this into perspective, every 1 million tokens, words, ChatGPT will charge you $60. For every 1 million tokens, DeepSeek will charge you $6. So just think about that. You got something that a lot of people are saying is just as good as ChatGPT, if not better in some benchmarks, such as reasoning, but it's a fraction of the cost to use. Well, NVIDIA, the people that are responsible for servers and the actual infrastructure you need to train these LLM models, lost over $500 billion when this new model came out. Because it was said, okay, well, we don't need all these high-end machines if a company in China who use some of the cheapest machines out there to train can do it. Why do we need to spend thousands of dollars for NVIDIA servers and NVIDIA processors? We don't need to do it. And that company, NVIDIA, lost over $500 billion in their valuation in one day when this tool came out. So what is it? It's just like another version of ChatGPT. It can handle text. It can handle images. It can handle code. It can do all the things that ChatGPT can do, almost as equal, but in some cases better. So for the people who say, well, Charles, why should I pay $20 a month when I can do this for free? I have no argument for you. I'm not going to say that you should spend $20 a month when this is free right now. I'm not. I do have ChatGPT. I don't see myself getting rid of it because of some of the features that this does not have yet, such as vision, but I think it will be coming soon. And I will have to make a decision once it has all of the features that ChatGPT have. I have to decide if I'm going to continue to go down the path of ChatGPT. But right now, we use ChatGPT as our major LLM, especially with the API calls, because we don't really do a lot of working on ChatGPT and their user interface, meaning online. We do a lot with automations and API, and that's how we're doing it. So that's the best way that we're using it. But you guys who are just basically using it on the outside, using the user interface, I would definitely recommend, if cost is an issue, or if you want to just save something right now, jump on this DeepSeek, get to know it, put in your same prompts. You can use the free version of ChatGPT, and you can compare the output and choose which one do you like better.
Is this the kind of thing that they give it away so people flock to use it, and the more people use it, the better it gets?
The answer is yes. It does train off of your data, But in regards to whether or not they're going to charge you for it in the future, I can't see how they can continue to give this away for free forever.
Well, in giving it away, though, that we don't have to pay any money, but they get a lot of data.
Yes, they
Us.
do. Now, one of the safety issues that people have is, yes, this is a China-based company, but every China-based company has to adhere to what the government tells them. So if China asks them or tells them, I want all of your data, they have to give it up. So one of the safety things that people are looking at and saying, well, how safe is my information going to be if China could snap their fingers and say, give me this data, we want to use it. Now, that will be the way in which you could use it. Here go the internet again. Golly. That will be the way that you can use it where you don't have to worry about the information going to China by actually installing it on your computer and not having it attached to the internet.
Ah,
Any other questions regarding this?
well, at the rate that things change in this business, you would probably expect that within a relatively short time they'd have an update on their versions, wouldn't you?
Well, they already have. They got version 1, version 2. Now they're on version 3.
Right.
So it keeps on evolving. And I'm talking about deep sea.
Right.
It keeps on evolving, and it keeps on, for lack of a better word, stealing market share from the American-based companies like Microsoft, like Google, like OpenAI. But that's what it's doing. It's stealing market share from those companies. As a matter of fact, it's the #1 app being downloaded in the App Store and the Google Store right now as we speak.
Right. And what I was wondering though is even if you put it on your own laptop, that when they have a new version, you have to go on the internet to update, don't you?
You have to go to the internet to download, but that doesn't mean they're stealing your their information or your history. You're just downloading the new version. They're not getting your history.
It's not a two-way thing.
No.
Okay.
Shara, I have a question.
Yes.
So, the mentorship, from my understanding, please correct if I'm wrong. So the IL implementation, AI, correct me. It's basically to help us in a way to be more familiarized and use more technology to save time and also to have a better performance. I'm asking this because, like, as a realtor, my other like real estate coach is like, make the calls, but it's never like, how can you potentialize your time and reach more people? So I do understand, um, from what I'm understanding so far, that in your mentorship, this part of the technology mentoring that we have, like classes like today, is so we use more technology so we can reach more people and convert those into leads. So in our system, we make sure that it's not just like doing calls, door knocking, but that all this technology part is part of this implementation.
Yeah, so put it like this. These AI tools, systems, and automations is geared for three main functionalities: more time, more leads, more profit. That's the actual three functionality that these tools will allow you to achieve. The question is, how do you implement them to handle the core three goals: time, leads, profit? And the key here in the community is showing you ways in which you can do that, practical ways in which we're doing it, and tying everything together. Can you guys hear me?
No,
Mhm.
Yeah, I said, does that make sense?
Yes, I think we lost you a little bit, but I understand the need of the implementation. Now it's more clear to me. And I saw there is the exercises that in the in the
Yeah, and let's go over that. Let's go over that. That's a great point to bring up. If you go here to the community, and if you go into where we have the tab that talks about challenges and type in the word challenge. Well, actually, better yet, let's go into classroom. And you see this tab that says challenge right here.
Mhm.
All of these exercise here is to give you a foundation of ways in which you can use these tools in your business. Each challenge is a hand-on approach to use that tool in your business and to help you create ideas and ways to use it in your business. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. I start watching those classes, and we are supposed to do this exercise in this order, right? The order that it
No,
is.
it does not have to be done in this order. Each challenge is standalone. So
Okay,
the challenge is not referring back to another challenge. It's a standalone exercise in itself.
okay, okay.
So no, you do not have to do it in order. You can start based on looking at the description of the challenge and say, hey, that's something I can use in my business right now. Let me watch this one first.
Okay.
So that's the key. For example, the challenge that I'm going to give you today, it's going to take, excuse me, it's going to take you down another rabbit hole of ways in which you could use these tools in your business. Now, going back to what we're talking about, if you want something free in regards to a model like ChatGPT, DeepSeek is that answer. If you're looking for a free, good resource, the best resource is ChatGPT, but it's $20 a month for the regular team plan, $20 a month. So you got free on one hand, and you got ChatGPT on the other hand. Now, inside of the community, if you want to find out, well, how do you use this or how do you use that? You can go right up here to this actual bar and you can type in DeepSeek. And it will tell you and show you all the posts that talks about DeepSeek. If you want to know about ChatGPT, it will bring up all the posts that talks about ChatGPT. So this is very responsive inside of the community. Inside of my AI tools, if you want to know more detailed about it, I'm not going to say detailed. If you want to know different perspective about it, you can go into the MAD AI tool database and type in whatever topic or whatever tool you want to know about. And there's going to be some type of video that tells you or train you on that tool, and so on. So you will have access to all the how-to right at your fingertips. Use the search bar feature right here and type in, if there's a tool that's being mentioned or being discussed, type that tool in the search bar and you'll see all the detailed information and talking about of that tool. Any questions? Okay. Number 2, another free tool. They have a paid version, but this free version will do everything you need it to do. It's called Notebook LM. It'll allow you to create training agents that will teach you whatever topic you want to learn about. I discussed this in a lot of the trainings that we have inside of the community. If you type in Notebook LM, you're going to see all the training that I talk about this tool. So I don't need to go over right now. It's already in the community. It's free, and they have a paid version. You do not have to use the paid version. The free version will do everything you needed to do at an actual responsive level, rapid level, that you don't have to worry about paying for it. Once you start looking at and what I mentioned, what it can do, it will blow your mind. I'll give you an example of how we're using it. We created this actual probate investing agent. And with this probate investing agent, we're able to talk to it and have it teach my people about investing in probate properties. So think of having an expert, a professional coach that has a doctorate in probate investing. And that person is at your fingertips and will teach you everything you need to know based on the actual information that's input into it on probate. We have one that talks about limited liabilities and LLCs. We have one that talks about subject to investing. All of these are private chat bots that you have access to. And like I said, to understand how to use this, just go into the community and type in Notebook LM and look at the videos that talk about this actual tool.
Oh, this is nice.
Now, that's free, but it has a paid plan. You do not have to pay for the paid plan. Another one is Google AI Studio. This is 100% free. This one is unbelievable. We were just on the cruise over the weekend, last week, and I started showing people how this works. Inside of the school community, we have videos that talk about this. Inside of the MAD database tools, we have videos that talk about this. But you could literally pull up a tool on your computer, and this Gemini, Google AI will teach you how to use that tool. For example, I could pull up PropStream, and Gemini and Google AI will tell me how to use PropStream. I could pull up batch leads. I could pull up this. I could pull up that. And this tool will tell me how to use it. I could share something in the room, or they have the actual screenshot feature. And the thing about it, you can talk to it. You talk to it like you're talking to a person. It's that you don't have to type it. You can talk to it. So definitely look into this tool. It's 100% free. We have the training and stuff inside of the actual school community that talks about this. So this is another one of the must-have free tools that I recommend you guys getting. Now, when it comes to a paid tool, one that I highly recommend for you guys that is A+ when it comes to paid is Abacus AI. Now, why do I like Abacus AI? I'm gonna tell you. The reason I like it is because it has all the tools we just got finished mentioning built into it already. It has Chat GPT built into it. It has Claude built into it. It has DeepSeek built into it. It has Gemini built into it. It has Gronk built into it. It has all Llama built into it. So think in terms of this tool as a depository for all the tools that we're talking about that you should use, but it's all underneath of one roof. Now, when it comes to image generation, it has all the image generation models built in. It has Flux. It has Ideogram. It has Recraft. It has DALL-E. It has all of them built in. When it comes to creating videos, it has all the video models built into it. The Kling built into it. It has Halo built into it. It has Runway built into it. It has Luma Labs. So not only can you make images from all the top models, and once again, we're getting a little bit, not only can you make images from all the top models, but you can also create videos, and you can also use all the actual large language models in the system as well. And here's the key. This one tool only costs $10 a month. I'm gonna say it again. It's $10 a month. And it has all those tools built in it. Was there a question?
How can these other companies survive when Abacus has all their stuff in it and it
Well, Abacus is
maybe
paying all those, Larry, Abacus is paying all those companies. That's how they're surviving. They're paying all those companies to give us limited use to all their tools. They're not giving anything away for free. They're getting paid. Any other questions?
Charles, I'll ask a question.
Okay,
It was
go
not
right
so
ahead.
much. It was not so much on AI, but it was more on getting deals. I sent it to you in the chat. I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at that or not.
I'm sorry, Mike, I didn't hear the question.
Which top 3 methods do you recommend for getting deals, paid versus free, that we can automate?
But that's a very general question when you say the top method, paid versus free, because I don't believe in one method. I believe in multiple methods. Like I mentioned early on, you got to have multiple marketing strategies if you want to do volume. If you want to do one deal a month or one deal every couple of months, yeah, you can do one marketing strategy. You can just do cold calling and get 2 or 3 deals from cold calling. But if you want volume, you got to do multiple marketing strategy, not just one. So what do I mean by that? We do cold calling. We do direct mail. We do text message marketing. We do email marketing. We do driving for dollars. We do door knocking. So we do about 6 to 8 different, we do Facebook ads. So we do about 6 to 8 different marketing strategies to generate leads. Mike, did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you so much.
No problem. Now, the cherry on top of that question isn't necessarily the marketing strategy, because you got to ask yourself, well, Charles, out of those 6 strategies, what's the best way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The number one way to convert a lead is to talk to them face to face. Number 2 is on the phone call. Number 3 is by way of direct mail. Number 4 is by way of text message marketing. Number 5 is by way of email. So if you take that down and say, okay, if I want to get the most deals, what's the best ways to get the most deals? That's going to be face to face in front of that person. Number 2, cold calling. And that's marketing 101. The highest way to convert somebody, people like doing business with people who they like, know, and trust. And the best way to get to like, know, and trust somebody is when that person is standing right in front of you and you're talking to. That's the best way. Now, we can't do that with every lead. There's no way you can do volume if that's what you're doing. All you're doing is driving around and knocking on doors and doing that strategy. There's no way you can do that. As the only thing, that's it. Because that's your second highest way of conversion, is to speak to them. Because now they can listen and hear you, and get to like, know, and trust you. That was a great question, Mike.
That was a great answer, Charles.
No problem. Okay, let's go back to the sharer. Now, I'm going to give you the challenge for today. And the challenge for today is going to incorporate either you using DeepSeek. Remember, DeepSeek is free, or you can use the free version of ChatGPT. Either one, I'm going to give you the option to use. Now, what did I say? Either use DeepSeek, which is free, or use the free version of ChatGPT. And this is your challenge. And you have 1 week to complete this. I'm going to pull up the screen. You guys see the screen?
Okay.
I'm going to use ChatGPT to exercise this prompt. Remember, I gave you either ChatGPT or DeepSeek. The prompt says, write 5 variations of ads that I can use to generate motivator seller leads. So I'm going to take the prompt and I'm going to put it into ChatGPT. Write 5 variations of ads that I can use to generate motivated seller leads. And I'm going to hit enter. These are all ads that you can use. Now, I want you to realize that this output is interchangeable. It can be used for Facebook ads. It can be used for Facebook posts. It can be used for LinkedIn posts. It can be used for other sites like online social sites to generate leads. But this is the actual process we use creating Facebook ads. This is the actual headline. This is the actual ad. And this is the actual call to action. Ad number 1, ad number 2. And this is for motivated sellers. I can be even more specific and give it a motivated seller type, such as bankruptcy, pre-foreclosure, or so on. Ad number 3, ad number 4, ad number 5. You're going to do this for your business, but you're going to incorporate your business as part of the output. So that's the first part of the challenge. Do this.
When you say incorporate our business, it's
Look at the prompt. Look at the prompt I have. Write 5 variations of ads that I can use to generate and motivate seller leads for my company, yada, 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 on Facebook.
oh, okay.
Now, that's the first part of the exercise. The second part of it is when you create a Facebook ad or an ad on other businesses or at other social sites, the highest performing ads are going to be ads that have images. Now we're going to go to Image FX. I'm going to say it again, Image FX. It's free. This is another free tool. And this free tool is going to allow us to create the image for the ad. So what's the actual theme of the image? It's going to be a property that's in distress. So I'm going to put in this prompt. The prompt is going to say, and you're going to change this. First of all, it's free to sign up, and you can sign up with a Google account. You got to have a Google email account. I recommend you guys creating a free Google email account just to use for these different models. One free email account that you can use when you're using these types of models and stuff for your business. It doesn't have to be a business Gmail account, a business email account. You can use it. This is with Microsoft. Google. So Google wants you to use Google Gmail. And it's worth getting a free Google Gmail account just for the use of this free actual image generator. It will allow you to create images for your business for 100% free 99. The prompt that we're going to use to go along with the actual ad copy is this. A single family distressed house in Baltimore. And you're going to change it to wherever you're investing at. If it's Baltimore, you put Baltimore. If it's New York, you put New York. If it's California, you put California. If it's Virginia, you put Virginia. And then you're going to go down here to the settings, and you're going to choose the size that you want that actual image to be. You can choose landscape. You're going to keep best quality as is. You're going to keep the seed number as is. And you can choose all these different sizes. On this one, we're going to choose 16 by 9. But for the most part, you're going to use something like either a portrait, which is 9/16, or you're going to use a square, which is 4:3. Those are the ones that's in Instagram, TikTok, Facebook ads, LinkedIn. All of those would use a mobile landscape 4:3 or a portrait 9/16. And I'm going to choose, better yet, I'm going to choose mobile landscape 4:3. And then all I have to do is hit enter. Create. But hitting enter would do the same thing. Hit create. And it's going to create single family distressed house in Baltimore. So your prompt is telling it exactly what you want. Because remember, your ad is about finding motivated sellers that have distressed properties. So your actual image is going to represent a distressed property. Hopefully the internet won't be too slow and it would take too long for this image to generate. Because there you go. So now you could choose from any of these images if you want to use as a distressed property. Or you can have it generate more. So you have the image and you also have the actual post. So right there, you have a 1-2 combination. Well, we're going to add one more thing to that combination, and that's going to be an actual survey that we send out to people who respond to the post. If you notice what I'm doing here, I'm actually creating an actual process for you that you can use in your business. So what does that copy looks like? Here it goes. It says, create a simple, motivated seller booking bot prompt I can use to qualify my inbound seller leads. No emojis. Include the following: greeting qualifying questions, then ask if they'd like to book an appointment. So I'm going to take this prompt and I'm going to go back to one of the free models. Remember, I told you the 2 free models you have is DeepSeek or ChatGPT. So I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and I'm going to paste in that prompt. And I'm going to hit enter. And here it is. It created a survey that you can use to get people, or should I say, to qualify the leads that come in through your system. You could say hot lead, warm lead, cold lead, based on their answers. What's the address of the property you're looking to sell? How soon are you looking to sell? ASAP, 30 to 60 days, just exploring options. Do you own property outright, or is there a mortgage on it? Is the property currently vacant or occupied? Does the property need any major repairs? Yes, it needs repairs. No, it's in good condition. Not sure. And 6, what's your reason for selling? And then lastly, it has a call to action where you could have them book an appointment with you after they fill in the actual survey for that actual response. So you have 3 pieces of content here created in this one exercise. You created Facebook ad, you created image for distressed property that you can use. And I could change this. I could say distressed house, or I could say townhouse. And hit create. Or I could hit row house, or I could hit whatever I want to put in here in regards to the actual look that I want my actual ad or post to have. And here's the thing about it. Using this, these are all images that AI created. Look at that. Man, I would swear this is in Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's not
I
bad.
would swear that these images is in Baltimore. Any questions regarding this challenge?
I have a question. Sorry, Charles.
Right
So
ahead.
we do the homework, but we actually don't run the ad. We put it together.
Exactly. You're doing exactly what I just showed you. So I didn't
Okay.
have you run any ads. I showed you exactly what I want. And I want you to add that to the actual challenge post. So what do I mean by the challenge post? I'm going to create an actual post, and it's going to be here tomorrow. And the post is going to say challenge. And you're going to add your output to that actual post. It's going to look something like, let's go to one. Where is it at? I gotta come up. One's gotta come here, right here. It's going to be a post like this. It's going to have the challenge for that we talked about today. And you're going to respond by putting your comment with the actual output in here. Attached to this post. You're going to add your image. You're going to add your Facebook ads that was created. And you're going to add your survey. All underneath of the challenge post that's going to be for this exercise. Any questions? Going once. Going twice. And now I want to know how many of you guys are going to do this challenge.
Definitely doing it.
Raise your hand. Okay, I got you covered. Brian, I got you. Ahmed, I don't see your hand, Ahmed. I see it now. Larry, I got you covered. Rudolph, I see your head. I don't see your hand. Larry, I got you covered. Mike, Denise, Mike, I can't see you. So Denise, I see an image. So I heard you though. I got you. Got it. Okay. Perfect. Now, if you have any questions about this challenge, the post will be up tomorrow by 9 o'clock. And like I showed you, all you got to do, in fact, I'm going to call the post challenge, DeepSeek, and Chat GPT image FX assignment. I'm going to call it something like that. Challenge, DeepSeek, Chat GPT, image FX assignment. I'm going to call it something like that. And of course, it's going to have that as the challenge. And then I want you to put the responses right there in that post. Now, there's going to also be a Zoom recording of this whole meeting. So I don't want you to put the actual challenge in the whole Zoom recording because there will be a Zoom recording post tomorrow too. I only want the challenge output inside of the challenge post. That's it. Any questions? Going what? Go ahead.
Okay. So for me, I'm excited about doing all these technology things, but also I feel, well, I like discomfort because push me to learn different things. I'm a very much talkative, like one-on-one person, but I do understand that technology is so important if we want to perform in a high level. Like we're just human beings. So I feel like it's not the thing that I love the most, but that's when we grow. That's where we grow.
Now, you bring up a very good point because on the master class and at the cruise we had over the weekend, I was telling people it's okay to have an understanding of this, but depending on your budget and your business situation, you may not be the one doing this, but let's work. Then they should be doing this work. You can understand how it's supposed to be done, but your business is built around you generating revenue. It's built around you closing deals. The exception to that is if you're a solopreneur, meaning you have to wear all the hats in your business. If you have to wear all the hats in your business, you don't have a budget in place to hire or bring people in to do the work, then you got to learn it. But I would argue, if you have the budget or you have the wherewithal, understand how it should be set up, then hire someone to do it. Because I want you cold calling, I want you talking to sellers, I want you generating leads by doing your marketing campaigns. I want you to be doing that and have somebody else do the actual heavy lifting. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That's only if you can afford to have someone do that. I started in the business, I wore every hat. I was the marketing expert, I was the negotiator, I was the contractor, I was the guy that was going dealing with the leads. I was setting up my website. I was creating my email campaigns. I wore all the hats until I started making revenue. And now almost every aspect of my business is virtual assistants, AIs, working with people who are doing the actual work for me. With the exception of talking to you guys at the school community in the mastermind. Other than that, I rarely do what I'm showing you right. I have people doing it for me because my business runs off of closing deals. That's the only way I can do the 8 to 12 to 15 deals a month to do my business, to make my business run the way it runs. I can't do it by learning Notebook LM and learning Chat GPT and learning this, and then also do this and also do that, because
A lot.
I have the revenue to do volume. In order to do volume, you got to systemize and automate, and in some instances, bring on other people to do the work. Any questions regarding that?
Well, how much of your practice is in-house, where people are in a physical office with you?
Define in-house.
Well, you have a physical office somewhere?
No.
Okay, no?
I gave up our brick and mortar office, which was in downtown Baltimore, probably about 8 years ago. We've been virtual ever since.
Oh,
In the 6 different markets we're in, we're virtual.
and the people who do your work, your
They're all virtual.
marketing,
Every last
okay.
one of them. Mm-hmm.
And they're in, it's
Now,
not
let me
just
back
one.
that up. Let me back that up. I do have contractors. I do have lead agents. They are local, but we don't have a physical office that we go to.
Wow. So your crews could have been your office for a few days anyway.
Oh, my cruise was my office. You got to. I told you guys how my business run from the AM to the PM. So we'll go back over that one other day again. But from the time from 4 o'clock in the morning till 3 p.m., that's my prime hours. My prime hours is overseeing and managing my managers. That's what my business is all about: managing the managers and dealing with my coaching and my business consulting clients. That's it.
Oh.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? I apologize again for this choppy internet connection. Next week, we'll be back at home and the internet is flawless. It's hardwired, the whole 9 yards. There's no skipping or me dropping calls or any of that kind of stuff. So it will be a better situation next week. But enjoy your challenge. My goal is to make sure that I'm giving you actionable, practical things. Now, I know some of your agents, the same way I talked about motivated sellers, you could use the same prompt just by changing it up a little bit to get leads for new listings. So keep that in mind. Be a little bit creative. Think outside of the box with the information that I'm giving you based on your business model. It doesn't have to just be real estate motivated sellers. It could be for buyers. It could be for listings. It could be for contractors. It could be for recruiting agents. These things that I'm applying for this challenge can be incorporated in a lot of different ways. You just got to use your imagination when it comes to how do I or what do I say to get the output from the information that I want. Good enough?
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay,
Thanks.
no problem, guys. George, we're going to go head over to the beach for a last stroll. I'm going to be thinking about you, my man.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys. We'll be back in Baltimore on Friday. And I know Geronimo, we got a Zoom onboarding call to schedule for this weekend. If you guys want to do it this weekend, George, reach out to Usher if you want to do a breakdown of what's going on there. Ed, I need you to get that actual 2-week aspect done. If you need help with that, I'm available now. Phone call, pick up the phone, call me, however you want to do it. Let's make it happen. Sonia, we got to schedule our Zoom meeting. So we talked about doing that. You're going to reach out with me in regards to what day will work for you next week regarding that. Any other questions?
No.
And remember, guys, anytime you guys have the luxury, anytime you want to schedule a Zoom meeting with me, all you have to do is go into the community right here. It says book an REI and AI call. Click on this link and you could book a call with me on any specific topic you want to talk about, real estate or AI related.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay, right.
Good night, guys.
All right.
Right.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Charles.
Mhm.